Every time a leader avoids a conversation that needs to happen, there is a cost. And it is a real one with a dollar figure attached to it. And most leaders have never stopped to actually calculate that cost. Hi, I'm Beck Cosgrove from CultureWise Coaching, and today I'm going to make this uncomfortable in the best possible way. So, I've been in HR and change and coaching for over 18 years. And the number one thing that I've seen derail teams, tank culture, and quietly bleed businesses dry is not bad strategy or poor product or service. It is conversations that didn't happen. So let's talk about what silence actually costs. So first, the performance cost. So let's start with the obvious one, when a team member is underperforming and you don't address it. The performance does not improve and it doesn't stay the same, right? It gets worse because that behavior goes unaddressed and gets interpreted as acceptable. I've seen this play out dozens of times. The leader thinks if I say something, it might devote them. What if they don't like what I have to say? What if it goes badly? So you say nothing, and that team member continues, and the rest of the team watches and clocks that behavior is allowed. Standards slip, and the leader, you're now managing around a problem instead of through it. And more often than not, the underperformer is often completely unaware there's an issue. They're not being deliberately difficult, right? They just don't have the information they need to do better. Your silence is not kindness. You are withholding feedback that could change someone's career trajectory. Second, there's a people cost. High performers leave when they see low performance go unchecked. Full stop, right? I've watched this happen more times than I can count. Your best people, the ones who hold themselves to a high standard, are watching how you lead. And when they see someone coasting while they're carrying the load, they actually don't complain. They will be quietly in the background updating their resume. The cost of replacing a single employee ranges, depending on the role, from 50% to 200% of their annual salary. So I'm going to say that again. The cost of replacing someone can be anywhere from 50% to 200% of their annual salary, right? That includes recruitment fees, onboarding time, lost productivity during the transition, and actually also institutional knowledge walking out the door. So one unaddressed performance conversation can cost you not only a great employee, but also another and another. And then you've got a culture problem. Staff turnover is often treated as a HR issue. It is almost always a leadership communication issue, holding standards, upholding expectations. Cost 3 is the culture cost. Culture is not what you put on your website. It is not something that HR is in charge of. Culture is what you allow. It is the environment that you create as leaders and as an owner. Everyone is accountable or contributes to a culture of a place. So every time a leader avoids a hard conversation, they send a cultural message, whether they intend to or not. The message is the behavior is acceptable here. We don't hold each other accountable. You can do what you like, nothing will happen, right? That message spreads like wildfire. It shapes how people show up, how they treat one another, and what they think is okay. And the leaders who come to me 6 months or 2 years later, wondering why their vibe is off, why their culture is not right, why nobody gives straight feedback, why people are polite in meetings but nothing gets done or resolved. This is almost always where it started, with the conversation that didn't happen. And then fourth, personal cost. There is a cost to you. The mental load of carrying an unresolved conversation is enormous. It lives in your head. It colors your interactions. It shows up in how you feel on a Sunday night before a Monday morning where you have to see that person again or see your team again. So leaders who are avoiding hard conversations are usually not sleeping as well. They're not as present with their families or their loved ones. They're second guessing themselves more. The emotional weight of this is real and it is significant. And it does not lighten until the conversation happens. So I once worked with a business owner, let's for purposes call him David. He'd been managing around a co-director conflict for nearly 2 years. 2 whole years of strategy meetings where they couldn't agree, 2 years of that passive tension the whole team could feel. And he told me when he finally had the conversation, it took 40 minutes, right? The relief was immediate. He talked about how he had wasted 2 years of his life on something that took 40 minutes to resolve. The conversation is almost never as bad as the anticipation that we build. So, what do you do? The first step is to stop treating difficult conversations as an optional leadership skill. They're not. They are a core responsibility for you as a leader or a business owner. The second step is to get clear on what you actually need from the conversation before you walk in. Not what you want to say, what you need as an outcome. That is the foundation of my Curious Conversations framework, and it changes everything about how you prepare for these. The third step is to get curious. Don't come in combative. Presence is everything. The Curious Conversations approach is not about having the perfect script or exactly what to say. It is about going in with genuine openness to understand the other person's perspective, while also being clear on your own perspective and your own expectations. So when those 3 things are in place, the conversation stops being something that you dread and starts being something that you're actually capable of. I want you to think about the conversation you've been putting off. And I want you to honestly ask yourself, what is staying silent costing you? Costing you financially, costing you culturally, or costing you personally? I'd love to know. Drop your answer in the comments. You don't have to name names, just the cost. And if you've enjoyed this content, hit like and subscribe.